Hello everybody, welcome back to the official Line Ball Pool channel. My name is Max Barrett and today I am here with Kieran Poole.
Hey.
Welcome to the channel, Kieran. Today we are talking about rubbish snooker, and this is Kieran's project, his personal passion project. It's a really interesting exploration of art, snooker and an environmental impact. The reason we're talking about rubbish snooker, well, firstly, it's a really brilliant project, but also Rubbish Snooker will be sponsoring the first line ball pool tournament called the Vanguard Invitational. It's starting very soon, so in the build-up we wanted to talk about the story behind Rubbish Snooker, why they're sponsoring us, and the prize element too, because there'll be a prize given to the winners of the line ball tournament, the very first one we've done, and it connects nicely in with what Rubbish Snooker are doing. So Kieran, firstly, could you tell us a little bit about what is Rubbish Snooker?
Well, it's ironic because there's a little spider on the table there, and I just thought that really sums up quite a few things as well. So basically this is an outdoor pool table, right? And I often have to explain that it is an outdoor pool table. We are in my garden. And litter is something that's always really annoyed me. And then I started litter picking last year, and I realised the amount of cans and bottles was just unbelievable. And I wanted to see if I could fill the table with lids, and I thought there's no chance. This will take a ridiculous amount. It would take thousands. And within 3 months I'd done it, and I did it in a way that no colour could be the same next to each other. And then I had, so that was, it was like 1,604 lids or 1,603. Sorry, I can't be more specific. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? And then someone said, well, why don't you do like the Mona Lisa? I was like, what? What are you on about? And obviously I did. And it's kind of developed and yeah, I've done loads of pieces. There is these are all the run over lids. So these are all the lids that have been like broken by cars or squished in some way, and I use those. And then yeah, I've got around about 6,000 lids, obviously all organised by colour, obviously. You know, I'm a cool guy. Yeah. And as well as ring pools, I've got about 6,000 ring pools as well, and they're not all littered. Some of them are upcycled with friends and family. I get deliveries of lids that people have been using, and I've been making loads of art. I started off with trick shots using litter like cans and stuff on the table, and then I was like, let's make this a canvas.
Yeah, because you've got quite an extensive pool and snooker and just cue sport in general background. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm probably better at making art on a table now than playing the sport. As a kid, I wanted to be a professional snooker player. I told my careers advisor that I wanted to be one. This was when I was about 14. A lot of people laughed, and that was never going to happen. But then I got to present the World Snooker Tour's official podcast, which was very cool. Got to meet a lot of the players, because that's what my sort of professional background is in, broadcasting. So that was really cool. And then I've always wanted a table, but you can't. Who can afford to have one inside? And then I thought, hang on a minute, I found a place with a garden. Hang on, do they do outdoor tables? They do. Obviously a little bit more expensive. Yeah. So this is where it came about. And so it's so unique. It's, when I try to explain this to people, even I find it quite difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, I play a lot of pool, but not even I know what the difference between an indoor and an outdoor table is. So what is the difference?
It's all treated wood, and the cloth. So it rained earlier. I was actually playing and it rained earlier. So like, if you drop water on it, it just sits there. It doesn't like soak in. Wow. And then it just dries really quickly. On this table, there's been snow. Obviously, it gets covered at night, but there was like that thick snow in last December. It's had torrential rain. It's had a cat sitting on it. It has had a cat sleeping underneath it. Not my cats. It's had all sorts of weather. I guess the limit is 11 mile an hour winds, and I can't play. Because I'm probably the only snooker player ever to check the weather, and obviously to do the lids as well. When I'm doing art, the worst thing is the wind. It's not the rain, it's the wind. So I've had it before. I've done a beautiful design, and then the wind has just come and taken them all out. And in the pockets, I have found so many lids deep within the table, where I think I found like 35. It was 30 something once, just random lids within the table.
And so heading back to obviously the canvases you've been doing ever since then. So the first one was inspired by a friend telling you to do the Mona Lisa. And can you tell me about where these then get shown? You know, can people see them physically?
Yes, so these are made actually out of recycled plastic bottles, okay? So, and the frame is from sustainably sourced forests as well, okay? So this is something called PET fibres. And you can buy those on rubbishsnooker.com. It's also on Etsy and on Instagram, where it began, at rubbishsnooker.
Lovely, yeah, rubbishsnooker.com. Please go follow them over there. They're on Instagram and, as we said, Etsy as well. And yeah, it was great to see those trick shots, because I remember seeing the early day stuff and then seeing the canvases come out of nowhere. That was brilliant. Can you tell me a little bit about the collaboration we're doing? We alluded to it at the start. How is Line Ball Pool collaborating with Rubbish Snooker?
So, we're very proud. I always say we. It's me, isn't it? It's me. It's just me.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was a team, but it's just you, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's mad enough to do this with me. So me, Rubbish Snooker is sponsoring the your first tournament, and the prizes are a Mona Lisa canvas and the Scream as well. So two very famous paintings made together by lids on an outdoor pool table.
Brilliant. It's a very unique prize. So yeah, the Line Ball Pool tournament that we've spoken about a bit on the channel now. We've got 6 teams competing in that. There'll be 2 canvases made. The teams are roughly 2 to 3 players each. So whatever team ends up winning the official tournament will get that prize. The first episode will be coming out really soon. We're playing a group stage format first, and then based on where you finish in the group will depend who you play against in the knockout tournaments. And then the winner of that eventual knockout tournament will then go on to claim the prize. We'll be, as we have been on the channel, releasing the episodes weekly, and that means that the tournament will run over quite some time, and you won't find out the winner until quite close to Christmas. But when we do, the winner will be announced and they will have these canvases. I know my sister's partner is partaking in the tournament and they've just moved into their new place. And when I mentioned to him what the prize would be, he did show much more encouragement to start training and learning the rules of line ball, knowing that he can start putting things up on the wall. Because currently up on the wall in his flat, he's got, you know, those like picture frames you can get from Wilco, where like it's still got the default image in there? Yeah. He's got about 7 of those up. So Byron, if you're watching this, I know what's in your house, but he is very excited for this, and it's going to add that extra level of competitiveness. We've seen Anki and Alex on the channel already starting their mini rivalry, and so Kieran is proudly sponsoring it, bringing this along and featuring it within the episodes. So Kieran, to round off, obviously we're now collaborating, but I'm not the only person to recognise what you're doing. So in the community around Medway, who else has sort of spotted out and invited you along to things to show what you do? Well,
actually, it's currently in a couple of galleries, which is really ridiculously exciting. I never thought. I still struggle to call myself an artist. I find that very bizarre. But yeah, it's in a couple of galleries, and yeah, there's some of these in local pubs as well. So yeah, it's exciting to see them, and obviously they appreciate that. I suppose yeah, litter's being taken off the streets and being creating pieces of art. So Kieran, I noticed that you had a couple of very generic football kit pieces of art on there, and I'm a big football fan. In a recent Pot or Not episode we did, I accidentally confused Liverpool left back Andy Robertson with the snooker player Neil Robertson, which probably alludes to how much I enjoy football. But that was one of my personal favourites, seeing those. But out of all of the designs you've done so many now, what is your favourite design you've done? See, I do really like the Mona Lisa, but I suppose I can't take too much credit. I think there was a man a couple of 100 years ago that created that originally, more than a couple of 100 years ago. But my favourite, and this is the piece that I guess people most talk about and ask me about, is it's called Spitfire Sunset, and it's a Spitfire plane on going over the sea into the sunset. So if you imagine at the black spot end, there's a sunset, and then the sea, and then a Spitfire plane, and even like the Rolls-Royce engines, ring pulls. Amazing, that's brilliant. That's a really unique image to have as well. So again, everyone, head to rubbishsnooker.com. They're also on Instagram as well, and Etsy if you want to purchase any of what
he is making. And please go over and check, especially that one is just talking about, because I definitely remember seeing that one. I remember that. It's quite an iconic scene, so make sure to check that out. And you'll be hearing plenty more about Rubbish Snooker as we get into the tournament. We'll be talking about it all the time. It will be drummed into your heads, and you'll be talking to Rubbish Snooker about everyone, because it's just going to be that ingrained. It's ingrained into my head, it's ingrained into my life, and we hope it will be for you too. So thank you so much for watching this video. Kieran and I will have already played on the channel a game of line ball pool on this very table. Now, we haven't played it yet. We're about to record that video right after this, so we don't even know who's won yet, but it will already be up on the channel. So go back a couple of weeks and you should find a line ball pool battle between myself and Kieran, and we'll find out who wins, because up until now I haven't actually been beaten at line ball pool on the channel. I have been, because the game is about 6 years old now, in terms of how I've built it. I've been beaten plenty of times, but since...
No proof.
Yeah, since turning the camera on, there's been no proof. Yeah. So we are very much hoping, I mean, definitely the audience and everyone in the commentary teams is hoping that today is the day that I am dethroned. But you'll already know if I have been, so go back and check that out on the channel if you haven't already. We make new videos every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. UK time, and we always do a little live premiere, so I'm always there watching along, having a chat with those interacting. Thank you to Timmy, who's there every single week. We love speaking to you, Timmy, so much so that he's now in the tournament too. So please join us in the chat every single Tuesday at 6 and subscribe so you don't miss the Vanguard Invitational Line Ball Pool Tournament, as well as all the brilliant stuff that Rubbish Snooker have to offer. I've been Max Barrett, this is Kieran Poole, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday.